Hi everyone, thanks for joining another Rider Pilates. Today we are really focusing on your abdominal muscles. Remember, this is not about having a fancy six-pack and really showing off your physicality. This is all about providing your body with that strength, the stability and the control through your trunk, which is going to give you that connection between your upper body and your contact and your lower body and your seat. So it's not about six packs, this is about control. So let us get started. Think about your posture before you start, so that nice elastic spine and a floating head. I'm sitting cross-legged. If you want to sit frog's legs for this one, that's absolutely fine. I'd like you to pop your arms across your chest. Think about equal weight through your seat bones and then turning through your upper body from side to side. Shoulders are staying level and the weight through your seat bones is staying equal. Okay, stay in this position, try to get your shoulders as level as possible and see if you can now rock from side to side and slightly backwards onto each seat bone. So you're not just rocking side to side, you're rocking slightly backwards and slightly to the side. This is easier on a chair, so if you're finding it a bit challenging on the floor, when you finished, have a go on a chair and see if you find it slightly easier, but it's really good because it focuses the brain, and you should be aware that by doing this you're really using your tummy muscles to control your pelvic movement. Also watch what's happening through your shoulders, try to keep them as level as possible so you're not collapsing into that movement, something that a lot of us are guilty of in the saddle. So the more you can work on controlling out of the saddle, the better. Okie doke. We are now going to go onto your back and we're going to start with your abdo prep exercise. So feet and knees approximately hip width apart. Find where your neutral tummy position is. Arms by your side, pelvic floor onto floor 3. Then float your fingers, reach your toes and look between your legs. Bring everything back down together. So it's floated, reach, look between your legs. Everything back down together. Avoiding that imprint position because that does really start to turn into a sort of a sit-uppy type movement, targeting your superficial abdominal muscles. By doing this, but being a bit more specific, so your pelvis is still, it's all through your upper and mid back. If you're doing your breathing as well, try to make sure you breathe out into that movement. We'll do one more like this. Okay, and we're going to move on to doing your scissors. We'll do a couple of the lower level one just to warm your brains up a little bit. So hands onto your headlights, pelvic floor onto floor 3, one leg up to tabletop and back down, and then the other leg up to tabletop and back down, making sure that you are moving from your hips. Okay, let's make it a bit harder. Let's go from your tabletop, making sure as the foot goes down that you move from the hip and not through your tummy. So by moving from your hip, you're really making sure this bit is working, ribs to pelvis. If you think ribs to pelvis, then you're going to be working your tummy muscles. Have a pause, bring your hands up above your shoulders, and now we're going to add in your arms. So opposite arm to leg, going in the opposite direction. Now that rib position down towards your pelvis becomes even more important. But you also want to be thinking about the quality of the movement in terms of stability of the arm and hand that aren't, or arm and leg rather, that aren't moving. So you've got your imaginary wine glasses in your hand and balanced onto your knees. Okay, one more each pair. Okay, bring your feet down one at a time, bring your arms down one at a time. We're going to do something a little similar but also a little bit different. We're going to do your double leg stretch. So let's run through the leg part first of all, which is straightening one leg and back up, and straightening the other leg and back up. So keeping ribs to pelvis as you straighten each leg in turn. Let's add in the arms. So the arms are going to be doing those circles. So half circle out, half circle in, half circle out, half circle in. So ribs stay to pelvis, Keep those circles small. It's much easier to combine them with the leg movement if the circles stay small. And then we're going to change the direction of your circles. So do your circles the other way. This is a really good one for your brain. But then, because we're challenging your brain, don't forget about your tummy muscles. So keep those ribs to your pelvis all the way through. So just because your focus has been taken off the main function of the exercise because your brain's thinking about something else, doesn't mean you can forget the quality. Do one more each way. And then bring your arms back down by your side. Okie doke. We are going to go onto your side and we're going to do your side bend. If you have problems with your shoulder and you need to go flat for this one, that's absolutely fine. You just can't do the pelvic part of this, but you can still do the arm and leg part. So capital L position, top arm onto your top headlight, pelvic floor onto floor 3. And we're synchronising, lifting your pelvis and your top arm. And we're looking for synchronisation of the movement, but also quality of the movement. So not landing with a flop. If you're finding this easy, lift the top leg. So you might be thinking, what's this got to do with my abdominals? What you will find if you think about this is that the abdominals on your underside here are working very hard to help you to control the lift and control the lower. So we have lots of abdominals. They wrap around a bit like a corset in a way. So we have to strengthen them into lots of different positions or 3 dots of different movements so that we target all aspects of that work, if you like. Okay, onto your front, and we're going to do your leg pull. So prop up onto your forearms, look at your hands, pelvic floor onto floor 3, lift your knees, lift your pelvis even, and slowly back down. So pelvic floor, lift, slowly back down. Keep your upper body where it is, so watch you don't dip down and have your hair going over the front of your face. If you find this easy, tuck your toes underneath your feet, and then you can lift pelvis, lift knees, lower pelvis, or lift both together and lower both together. So you've now got 3 options depending on how tired you're feeling, how your back is feeling, how coordinated your brain is currently feeling. Remember to breathe, and again, this is one of those where you want to be thinking of breathing in on the way down. So not breathing in as you go into the lift, breathing out into the lift, breathing in on the way down. We're going to do one last one. Okay. Come up, and then we're going to spin round, or I'm going to spin round, you can face the other way if you want to, and we're going to do your side bend the other way. So, same thing, capital L. If this shoulder is uncomfortable, then again, just do this one on the flat version, you just can't get the lift part. So, top arm onto your top side, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and we're synchronising lifting and lowering once again. And as before, we're looking for the control up and the control down. Smooth up, smooth down. And if it's easy, lift the top leg. So you've just got to a little bit more push with your lower leg, your underneath leg. Mind you, I've got some people who say that they find this one a little bit easier. I think it probably just depends a little bit on how our individual brains are wired as to what bits we find easier, what movements we find easier. Okay, last one. Okay, then we're going to go onto your hands and knees. And I would like you with your hands just in front of your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, toes tucked underneath your feet, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you're lifting your knees and slowly back down. So pelvic floor, lift, slowly back down. When I say lift, you will notice 1, maybe 2 inches at max. We're not trying to get up to here. That takes quite a lot of the workload off, turns it into a completely different exercise. I don't know what it is. By doing this, even just with that little pause at the top, you're really working your tummy muscles hard. They're controlling your body weight and controlling it on the way back down. They're watching, they're helping to stop that landing with a crash. And that's what's so important when we're in the saddle. They control so much movement. They shock absorb, they control the spine, they connect. but it's all generally very small, subtle movements, nothing big. Do 2 more. Lovely, okay. Then bring yourselves back into a sitting position. Again, I'm going to go cross-legged. You can do frog's legs if that's more comfortable for you. And we're just going to stretch everything out a little bit. So one hand to the side, good big stretch over with that top hand. And back down, I'm going to do the same side again, so over. Push those fingers as far away from you as possible. And we'll go to the other side, so again, nice big stretch over. We'll do one more big stretch over. Lovely, okay. Bring your hands back down. Just make sure that you're relaxed through your shoulders, your weight is equal in your seat bones. And you're breathing nice and relaxed into the base of your lungs. And we are done. So well done for doing all of those. Hopefully you found that a useful session. It's not necessarily going to highlight differences between left and right, but it's a really useful session to do to make sure you've got the control around this part of your body that you really need in the saddle. Thank you so much for joining. If you've liked this session, please comment, please like, please share. It makes such a difference to my everyday life when I see all these things happening. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you soon.